and what a great day to sew something wonderful. I'm Kia with Kia B.
And this is Tech Guy from the Hive.
And welcome to Flosstube. We're so excited to be back with you today. In complete transparency, this is the third time we're filming this because the first time we had to restart. The second time, there was no audio.
None.
So, sorry if we are repeating ourselves over and over and over. I just want to make sure we get all the information to you.
Correct.
So, we had a very, very fun week. We went to Great Wolf Lodge in Mason, Ohio, and celebrated our two oldest boys' birthdays as they decided that that's what they wanted to do for their birthdays this year instead of having separate birthday parties. So, we had some really fun family time there. My mom and I went early. We got to go to Keepsakes and meet a ton of people. It was really, really fun. Did some shopping and then decorated the boys' hotel room, and I don't know, we just had some really,
we had a
really
great
fun
family time.
Yeah.
And her parents were able to go with us, and it was the boys' idea to have their birthday together. They're 23 months apart on the day.
Yeah.
So
we had a great, great
Yep.
time. Tuesday night, we were able to go to dinner with Pam and Steph from Just Keep Stitchin'. And it was so much fun. We went to a place called Tues Pizzeria, and it was amazing. You guys, let me just tell you, this place was so incredibly good. It is a place that has New York style pizza and Chicago style pizza, and my favorite is Chicago style, and so I was really, really excited. And it was delicious. I'm kicking myself. I'm a very I love to hello, I'm wearing a StitchCon shirt. I love to have memorabilia from things that we've done or places that we've done or been to or whatever.
Yep.
And I'm kicking myself because I wanted a crew neck shirt and I didn't buy it while we were there just to kind of mark the occasion that we went with Pam and Steph, and it was really, really fun, and I didn't buy it and I'm kicking myself for it.
there's always next time.
But we were only there one time. I mean, that time is what I'm saying.
Well, for me, I'm kicking myself for not actually ordering a deep dish pizza and then taking it home.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so, so good. I had a calzone. It was phenomenal. It was great.
Yes.
So we did that, and then the next morning, Nathan and I went back to Keepsakes. We had a couple of meetings. One was a meeting with Sue Hillis, and we were so excited to see her again. She's so, so great.
Yes.
So we'll talk more about that later in our haul. And we did some more shopping at Keepsakes, and then went back and spent the rest of the 2.5 days that we were there with our kids and celebrating their birthdays with my family. And it was my parents, my sister and her husband weren't able to make it, but it was just such a fun time.
Yeah.
Came home exhausted, but it was really, really fun and very burnt. Yes. So let's talk about Common Threaded Stitcher.
Why not?
It's going so well. I'm watching everybody's Flosstubes who are talking about it. Debbie and Keph from Snug Harbor Crafts, they had some phenomenally sweet comments about it. And guys, this is just so, so fun. And honestly, we could not have pulled it off. Without this launch team. It would not have blown up to the size that it is if we didn't have the launch team that we do. And so we've got Kyle Reckemeyer and Debbie and Keph from Snug Harbor Crafts. We have
Rika from
House of Stitch and Stash. We have Jen from Quirks and Stitches. We have Cooter on the Log, Brandi. Stop giggling like a 12-year-old.
How can you not smile?
We have Pam and Stephanie from Just Keep Stitchin', and it's just been the most amazing time.
You got Jen Lee on there, right?
Yeah, I said Quirks and Stitches.
Just want to make sure.
And so, I don't know, we just had so much fun. This week was probably one of my favorite prompts for the whole month. And one of them was your local Needleworks shop.
Yes.
And this is the whole reason I created these monthly prompts. We had such an amazing time at StitchCon. It was an experience that neither one of us had ever really had.
Absolutely.
And, I wanted that to continue and not to be like a pull from StitchCon or anything like that, but I wanted to keep meeting Stitchers. And so I just thought this would be a really, really fun way to do that. And I'm not the first to create a prompt challenge on Instagram by any means, but I had asked a few Stitchers, does this exist in the stitching community? And nobody had really heard of anything. So I created 31 prompts. Some of them have to do with cross stitch and some of them don't.
Right.
And it's just a fun way. And so the other day, a lot of people were posting their local Needleworks shop, which was super fun because then you could watch out for your LNS and see if there were other stitchers that you've never met before who like you could meet at your LNS and stitch with or shop with or whatever. And so it was one of my favorite days, and that is what's going to bring us as stitchers together. I really do think. I
was like looking at local needlework shops. It's like a 2-hour delay, like when you're in high school and middle school, and you're like, is my skull gonna pop up? Is my skull gonna pop up? And then you're like, yes!
Yeah.
It's
it was
exactly
just super fun. Super fun.
So it was awesome.
Yeah, and so everybody's comments on it are so amazing, and we're so blessed, like I said, to have the launch team that we have and just work with them. It's been so much fun. So if you are not a part of that, head on over to Instagram, use the hashtag #CommonThreadedStitcher. Check out all those posts. Even if you're not comfortable posting yourself, check out all those posts. There are over 6,000 posts now in 13 days. That is just so amazing.
And, you know, it's one of those things that if you're on the fence, go out there. Like, just put yourself out there. And, and if you put the launch team on there, all of us are going to see it, and we're going to like or going to comment or we'll send a direct message or Insta text if Pam was here to you, and it's so awesome to bring other people to find your common thread of stitching, but other things that you do, and sharing your stitchy spot, which is, I think it's awesome. Favorite designer, your stash, your vacation spot, things like that. It's just a really cool time that you can get away from the noise out there.
Oh, yeah.
And bring people together.
So much fun.
Yep.
So much fun. Just so interesting.
Yes.
So, we're just going to head right into this. We're just going to head right into whips. So, when I was at Keepsakes, I did something pretty phenomenal. And, I'm pretty proud of it, honestly. Let's back it up a little bit. When I was at StitchCon, I found this fabric by Color and Cotton called Lemonade, and I was obsessed with it. And it was a Jobelin, and I was like, oh, I can't do that. I'm only an Ada stitcher. I can't do it. I don't know why I was so nervous, because when I was at Keepsakes the other day, I started stitching on Jobelin, and I'm loving it.
It looks pretty.
Oh my gosh. So this is my very first whip on an even weave. And what I did is I went into Keepsakes. I literally opened the door. I had no idea who was going to be there at all. I was with my mom. She was so embarrassed.
This is uncharacteristic of you, though.
It is very uncharacteristic of me. But I knew Stephanie was going to be there. And she and I have become so close. And I just love our friendship. And I knew she was going to be there. And I knew this would make her laugh. And I literally opened the front door to Keepsakes, not knowing who's going to be in that front room, who's going to be in the shop, nothing. Not even knowing if Stephanie was going to be in the door. And I opened the door and I go, I have arrived, like that. She and Lenny were standing right in the front door. It was hysterical. We had such a good laugh.
It sounded like they had a prompt because Barbara met you at the car.
Yeah. So when I bought that Jobelin, I texted Stephanie. I was like, okay, I need some options to put on this Lemonade fabric. And she had sent me this chart, or she had sent me a picture of this and said, I can order this for you, along with several others. Yes, and I chose this one. It is Seasonal Celebrations by Cottage Needleworks, and it is the spring installment, and I love it so much. So I have, like I said, the word flowers done.
Of course.
And it's just so pretty, and I love it so much. And Susan, who is the floss whisperer of Keepsakes, was so incredibly sweet. So Country Cottage Needleworks calls for DMC on this particular pattern. And Susan went upstairs in the floss room, picked all the DMC, and color matched it to overdyed threads. And I was really, so glad that she did that for me, and so appreciative. And so so I was really pumped about that. I've been having a lot of trouble with my legs lately. In fact, I'm having some procedures done over the next 6 or 8 weeks, and trying to get things situated. And so I could not go up and down the stairs at Keepsakes. I went up twice and was like, I can't do it anymore. So I got to sit for 2 hours and stitch at Keepsakes in the dining room, and it was so much fun. I just loved it.
Why not? Because, if you're not shopping, you're stitching.
Yeah. So, other whips. Let's talk about 24 hours of cross stitch. Take 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
For us, it's take 2.
So, Tech I had to work all weekend. because we had been gone in Mason for 3 days, and so he had to work all weekend, which was fine. But I thought, I'm going to take a stab at 24 hours of cross stitch on my own. Like, I'm going to do this. The kids are going to get their 24-hour basket, which we did last time. They loved it. So I was like, I'm going to make them a basket. I will be fine. We will be able to do this. I have 48 hours to get 24 hours of cross stitch in. We're going to do this and it's going to be great.
You're going to power through it.
Yes. My downfall was that I was not prepared enough. Like Jen said in her video, this really snuck up on us. Like, really snuck up on us. So what I should have done was I thought I was going to make the kids' basket and like do all of that stuff. And I did that. Got them new coloring books, paper airplanes, like all these things that the boys could do. And they loved that last time. I didn't prep my projects well enough. So I decided for this round of 24 hours of cross stitch that I was going to go through my mania starts. I had 16 mania starts because I did every other day. In May, the opposite days were quilting projects. So I was going to go through all of my mania starts, which I finished once. I have 15. Every hour I was going to switch to a new start. A new mania project.
Okay.
And when I opened the first one, I didn't like the stitching. And I was like, okay, if I don't love the stitching, I'm not going to want to finish this. I love the pattern, but if I don't love the stitching themselves, and I had gotten a lot of progress done on that. So I was like, man, I really wrestled with, okay, am I going to restart this? Am I going to rip all these out? Whatever. So I did. I restarted on a completely different piece of fabric. So what would happen is I would open the bag, decide what I was going to do, and then as soon as I like got my needle threaded, I was ready to go, I would tell my phone to set a timer for 60 minutes. And that way I was putting in X's for 60 minutes, and I was going to do that 24 times. And so I had done 60 minutes. And then the next bag I opened, didn't like the stitches on that one. And the problem is that at the beginning of Mania, I was really doing chunky stitches. I was doing 3 or 4 strands on a 14 count, and it was just really, really chunky, and I did not love that. I like to have my X's defined.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to restart this one, but all my floss wasn't bobbinated yet. And I'm the type of stitcher, all my floss needs to be bobbinated before I can start a project.
Right.
Like, I'm just like that.
We recently switched from bobbins to clothespins.
Yeah. So if you've seen our board, which you can only see the bottom of the frame right now.
Yep.
So it took me an hour to get that project ready to go. And I was like, I just didn't prepare well enough, and this is going to be really, really difficult. But I was willing to like keep going. And so I got 60 minutes of stitching finally done on that project. And then it was like late or whatever, and I had gotten a headache, and so I was like, I'm going to sleep for a couple of hours, and I'm going to, just to get rid of this headache, I'm going to get back up, and then I'm going to keep going.
Right.
So I start again, and the next project, it's not all bobbinated, and I hate the stitching. So I'm like, ripping this one out too. So ripping stitches takes hours, like especially if you've made a ton of progress, which I had made a lot of progress on a lot of these projects.
Right.
So I was just really disappointed. So in all, I got 4 hours of stitching done in 48 hours. And it wasn't that I wasn't cross-stitching. Like, I was working that whole time. Not that whole time, because I was busy being a mom, too.
Yeah.
But it was that I wasn't actually putting X's in. So I'm going to show you where I got. And then we'll kind of talk about that later on. Okay, so I know that this one is the Jardin Privé, and it is the Gnomes. So before I'm doing this on Vintage Country Mocha, and I had gotten the tree and like some of the gnome done. And so I restarted this. I cut a new piece of Vintage Country Mocha, restarted the tree up here. And so I've gotten that much done. Now I'm doing 2 strands, which I like a lot better.
Yes.
So I'm working on that. I still don't have all this thread bobbinated yet because I don't.
We've got a day, less than a day to get this bobbinated?
Well, we haven't talked about that yet, but we will. Okay, and then this next one is my very first one. And I told you all that in my seasonal celebration spring that I had started that Color and Cotton lemonade fabric. Well, this next one is the Country Cottage Needleworks stitching time. And this was my first mania project in May, obviously, and I loved it. And I had actually gotten a lot done, and I was doing it on chalkboard black. Well, this was one that Stephanie sent me as a possibility for this fabric. And I love the idea of putting it on this fabric and it being yellow and being in the hive. And so I restarted it on this linen, and I got that far. So this is all this week. Like, I'm working on all these this week. It wasn't as planned. So I got that one done. This next one is the Glitter House #1, which I don't have. I need to get the rest of the Glitter House. I don't have them. I just haven't purchased them yet. Right. So I need to get the rest of the Glitter House. I only have #1. So I ripped out all those stitches and started anew. So like I said, all the
time that you spent towards it. But if you're going to start a project and finish it.
But if you don't love your stitches or you don't love the pattern, you're not going to be wanting to finish it.
Right.
Or you're not going to love the outcome. And I've just known that from quilting too, and I knew that I didn't love it.
Right.
So, okay, this next one is the Snowflake Serenade, also by Country Cottage Needleworks. And this is one, again, I pulled all the stitches out because I didn't like them and restarted.
Nope.
So.
There we go.
There you go, let it focus. Sorry, it goes out of focus so easily now. So, yeah, so I restarted that guy. And this is just on Lamb's Wool by Witch Help. All of this is 14 count Ada.
Right.
Just so you know. Okay, so those were all my whips. I mean, I had a lot of whips for this week. But I had worked on one project that, if I didn't show it in a whip, what do you think that means?
It's finished.
Boom, perfect. Okay, talk about your whips, and then we'll talk about our finishes.
Awesome. So, I am not a monogamous stitcher anymore. So, I've got 3 projects in the works. One, I will talk about a little bit later, about 24 hours. But Silver Creek's my Christmas list. I finished woolen sweaters, and then working on the last piece of Christmas blessings. So right there, and then
I love this fabric. It's so great.
Yes, but the one thing that you have to be super careful. It's very delicate. So
it's soft like a linen.
Yes, but you can't pull too hard on it. So I know Cupcake Stitcher Melissa started on this. Yeah. So she's my, in my head, my stitching buddy on Instagram. So whenever she posts, I want to be at least where she's at. So.
Does she have any idea that she's your stitching buddy?
Nope. Okay. That's okay. It's all right. And then Owl Forest, Emerald City. It is a free pattern. I splurged on.
This looks so good.
The flames.
I've been in a meeting all night, and he's been stitching this, so I hadn't seen this yet.
Yeah,
That's
Tornado
really
was
cool.
done, and the bricks are done. So
that is Emerald City.
Emerald City
from Owl Forest, and it's a free pattern. It is one of those like
stitch-alongs.
Yes, it is a stitch-along, but where they release like a little bit of the pattern.
Yeah.
Each month. Yep. So if you want to grab that, definitely head over to Owl Forest, and you can just we Google search Owl Forest. Emerald City.
Yep.
And it pops right up.
And I know Debbie from Snug Harbor Crafts Karen is doing it, Snug Harbor, and then Debbie from Snug Harbor Crafts is doing it also.
And Karen was our table mate at StitchCon.
Oh, man.
And she was stitching on this at StitchCon. That's where he fell in love with it.
I just fell in love with it. So thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
So awesome. That's what I have for whips. I don't have any finishes. Womp womp. So that's what we're doing.
I have a finish. And if you follow us on Instagram, you've already seen this, but I'm going to show it anyway because I couldn't wait to show somebody.
Because you're proud of it.
So if you remember last week, we showed you this awesome project bag. Guys, we're sorry about the focus. It keeps going so blurry. This awesome project bag from Cindy and Jen. Jen is Quirks and Stitches, and Cindy is Jen's mom. And they sent me this awesome bag with Brandon last week when he came to stay with us. And it is the Twisted Threads Spelling Bees. I love this pattern. And Cindy had actually bought this several years ago. And she included a sweet note just about how she thought I would love this, about being a homeschool mom and things like that. So she sent that to me. And this stitched up so quickly, and I've honestly been working on this so much. It is a finish.
Boom, perfect.
Look at that, boom, perfect. Spelling bees, and then I even put the buttons on it already. finish this all up. It's absolutely adorable.
It's gorgeous.
I'm going to finish it somehow on a chalkboard because I think that would be absolutely perfect because it is spelling bee. And so I can't wait to FFO this on, some type of chalkboard or something because I just think it's so cute.
Yep.
And I can't wait to display it in our homeschool room.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I liked it. She's like, guess what I did? And I'm like, finish something because
Yeah.
I had a jealous face of when other people finish things and I don't.
Yeah.
It's all good though. Still love you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about going forward. So this week, we have actually decided with Jen Lee's approval, Quirks and Stitches, we are doing take 4.1. So since mine wasn't very successful because I was not successfully prepared for it and Tech Eye had to work, he has 2 consecutive days off this week, which almost never happens. So we thought, let's do a take 4.1 on 24 hours of cross stitch. So my plan, we are starting Wednesday night at 9 p.m. and that way we can go till Friday night at 9 p.m. And because he's off Thursday and Friday, my plan is still the same. Every hour I'm going to work on a different mania project and see how far I can get in those. And then once those hours are, so that's 15 hours, once those are over, I will either go back to some of my favorites or I will start something new. So I'm really excited about that.
Yes.
What are your plans for 24 hours?
So I've got 3 projects are in the whip process. 2 of them I just showed y'all, and then I've got Sue Hillis home for the holidays with the Woody and the camper. I've got less than 5 hours to do, so I'm going to hit that first, get that finished, and then go ham on Silver Creek's Christmas list and Emerald City so we can get a chunk of that done.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited.
So we're really excited. I reached out to Jen yesterday, I think, and I was like, hey, would you be offended if we did like our take 4.1?
Yep.
And she was like, gosh, no, like, please do that. If that's when you have time to stitch, then do it. That's the point in this. This is me saying this. That's the point in this, is to have fun and just see, like, stretch yourself. You know, find a new challenge in your stitching. And so we're going to do that. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, and we just want to make sure we're not stepping on toes. And
yeah,
we really wanted to be a part of her take 4. We just, our scheduling didn't.
And I think it's okay. She was totally fine with it.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay, so next up, let's talk about haul. So like we said, we went and met Sue Hillis on Wednesday morning.
Yes.
And she brought us gifts, and these are so cute. So she brought me Have a Sweet Christmas, which is just a cute little complimentary pattern that she has. That is candy canes and peppermints. I love this. I cannot wait to stitch up these little ornaments. I'm going to make several of them because I love them so much. So I got that one.
Yes, and then she gave it to me. She's like, since you have a beard, you might enjoy this. It's pirates that are Santa.
So cute.
Yes, please.
Santa pirates.
Santa pirates.
Yes.
So I'm going to stitch on those as soon as I can. But it's just super cool that she thought of me and she's like, here.
And you can look these up. This is called Yo Ho Ho Ho. Yo Ho Ho Ho. My goodness. Yikes. And she actually has more of these in that series. And so you can look that up, which is
pretty excited about stitching that soon. Something small, something quick, something to just keep on going.
Yeah. So let's talk about our haul.
Boom.
We have quite a bit of it.
Yes.
First, we have just a couple of notions. First, I wanted to grab a, because that's what I keep calling it, the Snag Nabbit. I needed one of those. I did not have one in my collection of notions, so I grabbed one of those. And then I've officially become obsessed with John James size 26. Boom. I tried during Mania some John James size 24 and hated them. Like, I hated them. I was like, man, I wish I wouldn't have spent money on these needles, whatever. Jen had gifted me some size 26 John James in that kit that she sent, and I'm obsessed, so I picked up another pack of those. I love them. So, the next thing, I'm going to try and show these in somewhat of a pile.
Organized pile?
Yes, organized. So, I picked up this chart by the Cricut Collection, and it is called Be Ye Thankful. Look how cute that pattern is. Like, this is absolutely adorable. And I grabbed the perfect, because, you know, I'm a professional linen stitcher now. I went through all the bins of linen at Keepsakes because, you know, duh. So I got this piece of linen. It is 32 count, called Twilight Blue. It's reading very gray on the screen, but it is actually a blue, kind of greenish gray. And it's going to have this Be Ye Thankful go on it, and that's going to fit perfectly in our house. I am definitely picturing that in our dining room. So that's really fun.
I'm glad you know where they're going after they're done.
Yeah.
I don't.
So this one is Halloween Whimsies, and I started Easter Whimsies during Mania, and so when I saw this one, I loved it. I had to go ahead and snag it because I was afraid I wasn't going to find it after when we go back to Keepsakes. So I grabbed this. Now, we have said on this channel before that we do not celebrate Halloween. And we don't. We don't allow our kids to go trick-or-treating. They do get dressed up. We go to a fall festival out at my grandpa's house, and we have fun doing that, and they wear their costumes and things like that.
We have a hayride and throughout town and things like that.
Yes. We do, however, love pumpkins. We love fall. We love all of those things. And so occasionally we do buy some Halloween things. We just don't display a lot in our home. But we have found some really fun cross-stitch patterns that are Halloween that we really, really do enjoy. And so this is one of them. I love this. No tricks, just treats. And those pumpkins on there are so cute. So I cannot wait to start stitching this. So I got this. And my mom bought me something.
How nice.
Yes. She saw this when she was upstairs at Keepsakes during her time there. And she thought, this is perfect for you. And she brought it downstairs and she said, this is perfect for you and I would love to buy it for you. So this is St. Nicholas by Prairie Schooler. And it is, I believe, 8 of these St. Nicholas. And it's just these old Santas. And that is exactly what our house is decorated in for Christmas. Our kitchen is decorated in gingerbread, and our dining room the same. Our living room is all vintage Santas and vintage Christmas toys, and so we have so much fun with that kind of stuff. And so these are absolutely perfect. She thought they would go great on my tree. So I actually got, dare I say, I got matching fabric for both of these. Let me show you what it is.
Of course.
Yes. This is the most amazing fabric, and actually when Barbara was cutting it for me at Keepsakes, everybody at the table was like, oh, is there more of that left? We want some of that. This is called Nyx by Under the Sea Fabrics by Leslie LaFleur. Look how awesome it is.
Hi, Leslie.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I had to get a fat half. So I love this so much. It is 32 count, and I got it to be the cloth for both of these, actually, these little winsies. And I just thought these Santas would look phenomenal on there. So I can't wait to start stitching those up and get that cloth cut up and ready to go. So I'm going to make those into ornaments for our tree.
Awesome.
Yes. The next chart I grabbed, I asked Sue Hillis for a copy of. She printed it because Keepsakes was out of them. And so I had this on order. It was one of those things that I picked up while I was there. And it is it's called Your Favorite Needle Workshop. And it is a picture of Keepsakes. And she has charted that. And so I want to tell you kind of a little bit of a backstory. We went to StitchCon kind of during a tough week for us. And we were so excited to go, with a little bit of hesitation, but we were excited to go.
Yes.
So we go to StitchCon. It was absolutely amazing, and I have this great conversation with Barbara. And during this conversation, I'm not going to kind of elaborate on it because I want to keep the integrity of the conversation and how great it was. But during the conversation, the end of it, really, she opens her arms and gives me a hug, and she says, all I have to say to you is welcome home. And so that was so near and dear and special to me. I grabbed this. I'm going to stitch just this house portion and then chart the words welcome home to go underneath it. And it is going to go on this awesome polka dotted linen.
Yep.
This is a 32 count, and it's awesome. So,
I love it.
Blue polka dotted linen. So excited for it. Okay, and our last bit of haul.
Ooh.
This is something that Sue had messaged me about when she saw her in the Hive for the holidays. She followed that whole month of Christmas and July. She loved what we were stitching, and she said, I love it. I want you to move on to this pattern next. And so we picked this
yes,
up.
Sue, we will.
This is Hello Halloween. It's so cute with the little truck and all the skeletons. And you guys, Stephanie picked out the most amazing fabric for me. Look at that. Called? Isn't that awesome? It's called Halloween.
Perfect.
Right? And this is by, I want to make sure it's by Wichelt. So this is Halloween. It is a 32 count linen. so excited to get this chart. And so I got all the called for floss that goes with it, and I cannot wait to start stitching it.
Oh my gosh. She's stitching it.
Yes, I am stitching it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so that was all of our haul. And then next, we want to talk about something really exciting.
Yes.
So if you've been watching our channel, you have maybe heard me talk about my deep love and infatuation with Christmas villages. My dad and I have a collection of over 70 buildings in our little Christmas town. We have hundreds of accessories, right? It takes us days to put this together. He came back last week, or he came over last week for our annual little planning
town hall meeting.
Yes, so we plan out our village, what room it's going to go in, because it gets its home at my house, and I love that.
Yep.
And so we kind of had our planning meeting. Where is it going to go? What room is it going to fit in? Because it is a lot. And kind of what structure are we going to build this year? How are we going to display it? So he came over last year, and we've decided that because we know that so many of you guys have commented on videos that you want to see our village, we're going to start putting that up October 1st. And that way, kind of by maybe Black Friday, we'll have a great video for you guys about our Christmas village and just how fun it is. So you guys know that Christmas villages are so near and dear to my heart. Like everything Christmas village, I love.
Yes.
Country Cottage Needleworks this week came out with they posted that they're coming out with a new pattern series called Snow Village.
Yes, please.
It is the cutest Christmas village with snow and snowmen, and I'm just so excited about it. So I kind of thought immediately, with the help of some friends, like I need to do a stitch along. So this is starting in September. You can call Keepsakes. This is what I did. Calling Keepsakes. I'm getting the called for fabric, all the floss that's called for, and the patterns on auto ship. So my first shipment will come with the floss and the fabric and the initial pattern. And then it'll be on auto ship every month after that. So every release, they'll just charge my card and ship it to me automatically. So pumped about that.
Yep.
So we are going to start hashtag KiaB Snow Village Sal. And we would love for you to join along. It's so fun. And to have these items handpicked from such a wonderful needlework shop, I'm so, like, that alone is so special to me. And so I want to stitch with you all. We announced this on Instagram earlier this week, and we had several people interested. And so we're going to do it. We're going to have so much fun doing it. I'm so elated. Everything Christmas Village, I'm just so pumped about it.
I can't wait for other people to post their pictures on different linen or Ada.
I know. I want to see what everybody chooses.
It's awesome.
Yes. So I have talked to Keepsakes. They are they're ready. They're ready for you to call and order your auto ship if you're going to stitch along with us and that's how you'd like to do it. They will set that all up for you. We will list all of that information in the description box below.
Yes.
So comment down below and let us know if you're going to stitch along because, I'm so excited.
More the merrier.
Yes. It's just so it holds such a special place in my heart. So I'm very, very excited.
Yes.
So, okay. The very last thing we have to tell you. I'm just saying, I'm not going to give too much information, but I'm just saying, if I were you and I lived in the Ohio area, or maybe within driving distance to the Keepsakes area, I would maybe plan a trip there October 25th and 26th. So.
Really?
Yes. I mean, it's going to be a pretty awesome place to be.
I'll have to check my schedule.
Check your schedule. Yes. So more information will come out about that later. We have some big surprises for you guys, and we're really, really excited about just our journey ahead.
Yep.
So thank you so much. We know this was a little late this week, but we've had a weather change, and so with that comes migraines for our 4-year-old. So we've been doing that and just kind of rallying around him and whatever he needs. And so we appreciate your patience and getting this out just a little bit late, but we've had so much fun. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the hive today for this whirlwind of a Flosstube. It's really, really busy, but we have loved every second of it. So thank you for taking your time out to stitch with us this week, to listen and just kind of take part in all our fun. Yep. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the hive again, and you guys have a great week.
Bye.